Welcome to Counterbalance, the show in which we debate hot Magic the Gathering topics. I'm Dave.
And I'm Chris.
And we're back for episode 2, this time with more counter.
And way more banter.
So, our first topic for this episode. At San Diego Comic-Con, Wizards announced new names for booster packs. They also announced an entirely new booster that they're calling a Collector Booster. Now strap in, this is going to get a little complicated. So the Collector Booster will contain 1 rare or mythic rare with extended art, 3 special frame cards, an ancillary card, a foil rare or mythic rare, 9 foil commons or uncommons, and a foil token. I'm going to break this down just a little bit further. That rare or mythic rare with extended art is basically any rare or mythic that is in the regular set but doesn't already have a borderless or showcase frame in the regular set is available as an extended art card in foil and exclusively in collector's boosters. For those 3 special frame cards, these are non-foil cards. They're the only, there's some of the only non-foil cards in this pack, and those are going to be borderless planeswalkers or showcase cards. But again, they're not extended art, they're not foil. The ancillary card is an excellent opportunity to use the word ancillary. It also basically is just kind of like a smorgasbord from whenever the set is released. So for Throne of Eldraine, it's either the Buy a Box promo or one of the new cards from the Planeswalker decks or a new card from a Brawl deck. All of this is clocking in the $20 to $25 MSRP space. So, deep breath. Chris, is this a money grab or is this a great way to get special cards?
10 hours later.
It was complicated. I did the best I could.
Oh my God. First off, okay, despite the complexity of the explanation of this booster pack of $20 or $25 or whatever, I actually like the idea of it. It's a little pricey, but I think the whole phrasing, and we've been hearing this a lot in recent years in Magic the Gathering. Not every product is for everyone. It's kind of funny though, because I feel like there's always a product that's not always for somebody, but that's neither here nor there, and that's not actually a topic of debate. But I think overall, I really like the idea because I think about the Mythic Edition, right? And the Mythic Edition was always about to get those special planeswalkers. And so, it's $250 box. It's a big hassle to get it. Wizards of the Coast have also recently realized it's a big problem to do this thing. So I think this is a good way to sort of supplement that while they still get that boost per pack when it comes to price, but also give folks something to sort of collect, or if they want something special from the set. I think it's good overall, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm want to wait and see how the actual execution is of it, but in the onset, I'm pretty happy about the idea of it.
I'm just going to tap 2 blue mana over here and counter. I think these are dumb and bad.
Dumb and bad. Okay.
Yes, that is a nuanced critique that I'm offering right now. So, all right. I see what you're saying. And I am legitimately non-crappily glad that you're excited about this. I wish you good fortune, but I'm not going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. And really the issue is that these are, this is so much, I would need so much more to still not touch it. This is a product for people who are much richer than me. So I get that it's not for me. But look at the fail rate on this. If you get a bad, many of us have opened a bad Masters Edition pack, and that feels really bad because most of the time you're paying somewhere between $7-8 and $10-15. It depends on the set. It depends on how excited people were for it. It depends on where you got it, whatever. But then you get, like some terrible, terrible, terrible bulk rare, or and your foil is, nonsense, and boom, all of that's gone. It's just a lottery ticket. This is an expensive lottery ticket, and I am not at all interested in spending money on that. I'm not a fan of all this alternate art, borderless showcase nonsense. If right now, like, if at this point Chris has not put the uncard old fogey on the screen, like, he is doing us a disservice here, because this is absolutely a get off my lawn argument. But it's like, I like that it is separate from the regular set and isn't in a position to necessarily like kill the secondary singles market in the way that some of the expeditions did, some of the inventions did. But I don't think they've got the formula correct yet. I could be wrong. Maybe we'll be laughing at me very soon. Maybe it'll take a couple of years. And who knows? These might hold their value. Like, they might be super valuable. But even with all that said, it's just a bunch of foils. I don't like foils. It's a bunch of alternate art. It's like, whatever. Like, you do you. If it makes you happy, I sincerely hope it does make you happy. I'll be over here with my not 10-foot pole, not touching this.
So they should have probably named this booster Not for Dave Booster.
That's too specific. I am but one angry man in a sea of angry men.
But look, I mean, let's talk about this. Like, they've had these special boosters previously, right? Like, so they had the Shards of Alara, or not Shards of Alara, sorry, Alara foil packs. And
sure,
I think, again, if you didn't want them, you didn't buy them, right? Yeah. And so I think, I don't know, I'm actually pretty excited to get my hands on a few of these. And
we both know it's a money grab.
Yeah.
It's just that it's a money grab that you're excited for, and that's fair. And it's a money grab that I think is dumb and bad, and I think that's probably also fair. So do what makes you happy. Should Wizards get out of the competitive Magic space and leave it to others to manage and run competitive tournaments? Chris?
Yes. Get out of the competitive space, Wizards of the Coast. Now. Okay, so that was a little direct, but
that's what we want.
This is a loaded question, and I'm going to keep this short because I don't think nobody wants to hear me ramble for like 10 hours. He doesn't either. So basically, I think Wizards of the Coast should get out of the competitive Magic scene. Like, maybe have their like Pro Tour, like, that's it, and let others run tournaments that feed into it. Kind of like back in the day when Star City Games, had seats into the Pro Tour, where I think it was like either 2, 3, maybe 4 that would just feed into the Pro Tour. I think that's what Wizards of the Coast should do. Like, they want to get into this esports model. If you look at all these different esports entities, other tournaments feed into the big tournament, right? And why can't it do that now for Magic the Gathering? Because there's so many places that do really good at organized tournaments. Look at, like, by us, Nerd Rage Gaming, Star City Games on the One Coast, and then you have Good Games, and all these others, like, just by us. Now there's other ones that do a great job as well. Mm-hmm. Why not just let them feed into the big tournament, including Arena? Like, I think they don't get rid of Arena, or they don't get rid of MTGO, but they just don't have like GPs. Like, what's the point? They're worthless at this point. I mean, for them it's a bunch of money, but at the end it's an empty promise to the competitive Magic players, from my perspective anyways. For somebody who has been going to GPs this year, I've gone to 10, or I will be going to 10. And what am I going to get out of it at the end? I
mean, a bill. A pretty big one, probably.
But that's the point. Is like, I'm getting to the point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna pack up and go to SCG. I think that's the model that works the best for them, because it's the most that they're hands off with it, and others do better jobs than they do.
When you started, I was confident that I would be countering, like with like emphatically countering, because I do think that Wizards should remain in the competitive Magic space, but not the way that they're in that space right now. I mean, this has been a train wreck. I certainly share basically all of the frustrations you're articulating. I mean, for many of us who were on the grind for any real period for, gosh, really like almost 20 years there, like the promise was, win at Magic, see the world, right? Like you get on the pro, but so now, yes, absolutely. Like I'm, it's not that I'm not interested in going to Magic Fest, but I'm sure not interested in playing in the Grand Prix there. And I'm also well aware that I'm not going to be making my money back by playing in side events anymore, because they don't have the kind of crazy high multiplier side events you could find 2-3 years ago, where you spike one of those and bam, you've paid for one, maybe even two GPs. Like those were great. I loved them. Those paid for my tournaments. And then I still also got to do a GP and then maybe some side events if I washed out of the GP. But that isn't available anymore. They're still sweet, but they're more like little conventions. And I get that's what they're going for, but that doesn't scratch the competitive itch. But what you're describing in terms of like feeding into like this major like top level thing, like I'm totally down for that. But I think there's a lot to be said for that being like these other ancillary tournaments feed into like this major Magic tournament, because right now like sure, I could potentially qualify for a Mythic Championship. I probably couldn't afford to go to it even if I do, because the travel allotment's gone.
Yep.
So like I basically either need to only target MCQs that are going to like Albuquerque or something where I could feasibly get there. Like once upon a time though, if Pro Tour was coming up in like Tokyo, I'd be like, sweet, I might not only get to go to the Pro Tour, I might get to go to Japan.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Now it's like I might get to go to New Mexico. Like, sorry, New Mexico. Actually, New Mexico is quite beautiful. But my point is that I could realistically get there absent Magic, and have been there and have really enjoyed my time there. Tokyo a little less so. Like that's just a little too rich for my blood, typically for travel. So I'm rambling a bit, but part of it is because I'm confused. It feels like what you're saying is the same thing that I'm saying, which is Wizards should still be involved, but only at the very top and not in the way that they're involved now. Am I missing you here?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like competitive Magic as a whole, like.
So you're not telling them to get out of Magic.
Well, I'm telling them to get out.
I counter your belief in what you believe in.
I guess you're right. But what I'm saying, though, primarily is the GPs, get rid of them.
Get rid of them or make them matter again.
Like, think of it this way.
Because the prize structure is garbage, and it has been for a long time. And it's even worse now that you have to pay even more and can't get into the Pro Tour from it.
And really, like, the MCQ is the most valuable part of a Magic Fest at this point, as opposed to the actual GP.
But even that, like, I'm often not going to be interested in playing in an MCQ if it's for a Mythic Championship that is in a place that will cost me too much to go.
Agreed.
Like, that's pointless for me. Like,
yeah. You're right. I'm right.
Oh.
You're right. We're both right.
Just keep saying it. Keep saying it. No, the first one. The I'm right. Say that one again.
Jeez, this guy again.
It's just so good when it hits your ears.
What do I do with him?
So that's it for this episode. But once again, we would love to hear your thoughts on these topics that we've discussed, on our responses to them. Let's keep the conversation going down below in the comments. And until next time, I'm Dave.
And I'm Chris.
And this has been Counterbalance.